Salary cap is set for 2021 at 182.5 million.
And that's what about. I think
it went down. It was
they said like 10 million less than they thought, or something like that.
I think it was 195, I believe, last year.
Yeah, so they were so it went down a little bit.
Well, yeah, of course, it's better because the floor that they had put during the season for this coming season was going to be 175. It wouldn't go lower than that. Then about a month ago, they announced that it wouldn't be lower than 180, and then there was speculation that it would be closer to 190, but it ended up being 182.5. I think you're seeing it with a bunch of cuts, which we'll go into after this. Teams are going to be, look at the Saints. They're cutting a lot of players. They're restructuring a lot of players. The Cowboys are restructuring players. A lot of teams are restructuring, cutting players. Free agency is going to be weird this season. We might see the players that are going to get paid, of course, are going to be the elite good players, and then the average to above average players will just be the ones that end up with a 1-year deal, a lot less than what their actual value is in the past. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting for teams who have money, like the Jaguars, the Colts, the Jets. Those teams, putting together a good free agent haul and not having to necessarily spend a lot.
Yeah.
I do think teams like the Chiefs, the Bucks, will have an opportunity to get players on a cheap 1-year deal, and I'm excited to see how this plays out, especially for my team, who has that need on offensive line. And going into the cuts, the Giants cut Kevin Zettler, who's a guard that was originally with Cincinnati a few years ago. He ended up going to the Browns, and then he got moved to the Giants when they traded for Odell Beckham, the Browns on that side. So Riley Reif, who actually played really well last year at left tackle, he's a decent option for a team. The 49ers, if they don't re-sign Trent Williams, they might go into and signing a guy like that to at least put somebody there who's decent enough to play. It's going to be interesting because there's so many players that are getting cut. It's pretty awesome to see that happen on a team level, not on a player level.
I want to compare it a little bit to how we talk about like the buyouts and like the in the NBA, how like certain players like get cut because their team's not a contender and they want to get rid of these guys, like the Andre Drummonds, the Blake Griffins of the NBA. I think a lot of that is going to be kind of put into this offseason. You're going to see a lot of teams that a lot of players want to take shots, maybe whether it's a lot of playing time, not a lot of playing time, to potentially go out and win a championship. And I think that you'll see a lot of that happen this year in the offseason.
What are we expecting outside of potentially having 1-year deals? Like, is there a lot of vets might just wait it out towards the season?
I can definitely see that. I can see you see guys like was it Dez Bryant that eventually kind of got.
He's going to be a tough one.
But but not necessarily like him, like guys that are literally like could play, but they're just going to wait.
Cam Newton last year waited almost till the season started to sign with the Patriots. He waited, I believe, till after the draft.
I think you'll see a lot of guys wait till after the draft to see where things are at.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Like Quan Alexander, who just got traded to the Saints, and they cut him, and he had like a $13 million cap hit this coming season. Yeah. So, let's just let me run through it real quick. Giants cut Kevin Zettler, and this is just today, and I might be missing some. Bills cut John Brown. Mm-hmm. I think he had like a $7 million hit. That one is not surprising because of his injury problem. I believe he has like a sickle cell since he's been born, and when he gets injured, it takes him a lot longer to heal,
right?
From my understanding. And he can't really play like in high altitude like the Denver Broncos. Mm-hmm. So, for a team, maybe like for a team who might need a deep threat receiver, but doesn't really have the cap space to sign one, that would be a good option there.
No, I would agree. I think you're gonna see. I think you're gonna like I said earlier. I think you're gonna see a lot of teams like the Bucks and the Chiefs, teams that were just in the Super Bowl. We know that the Bucks
and they don't have much cap space. The
they
Chiefs
don't
on that end,
but
that's why they're gonna sign players on a cheap deal.
But that's why I'm saying maybe John Brown takes a chance to go to go to Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes.
Oh.
And maybe,
Could you imagine?
I'm just saying, like, gets a cheap deal and then goes out and gets paid after he possibly stays healthy and balls out. I mean, that's not a bad idea.
So Saints also cut Emmanuel Sanders.
I saw that, yep.
I wouldn't surprise if he went to the Niners on a cheap deal. He was there a season ago, went to the Super Bowl. He really, it wouldn't surprise me. We'll see how that plays out. He would be like a third option there, even fourth if you count George Kittle as the first option, Debo, Ayuk, and then it'd be Emmanuel. So I think he's a good leader for that for any locker room. So Quan got cut. I can see the Saints bringing him back on a cheap deal.
Yeah.
The Cards caught Robert Alford. I believe he was with the Falcons the season prior.
I think
he played
so, yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Today has been a bloodbath. There's like, I've only nitpicked players were like cream of the crop basically.
And we haven't even talked about the guys that aren't getting the franchise tag either.
There's a lot
the
of
Galladays, the Keanu Neals.
We can talk about Galladay next.
Yeah, we can.
So, yeah, with that, I'm pretty excited to see how this plays out. It's going to be one of the most active free agency in a while.
With the caveat, I think there will be a lot of waiting and see how the draft plays out. I think we will still see some guys sign, but I think a lot of it's going to happen after the draft. Which, I think a couple guys on NFL Network, I was kind of watching. I haven't watched NFL Network in a while. But I think a couple guys were saying, with the salary cap and how, the draft, a lot of players are gonna wait and see. So
it'd probably be a better option, unless if the Chiefs come calling, you probably go sign with them.
Yeah, of course. Or if a team offers you a bunch of money, $20 million a year as your Galladay or receiver, you're gonna take that money. You're gonna run. So I mean, but the guys like maybe the Quan Alexanders and the Kenny Vaccaros that got cut and the Emmanuel Sanders may wait till after the draft to see what teams draft, what they don't draft. Where their playing time could be. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait for the draft. I'm very excited.